Some people told Jesus about the Galileans whose blood Pilate had mingled with the blood of their sacrifices. Jesus said to them in reply, "Do you think that because these Galileans suffered in this way, they were greater sinners than all other Galileans? By no means. But I tell you, if you do not repent, you will perish as they did. Or those 18 people who were killed when the Tower of Siloam fell on them, do you think they were more guilty than everyone else who lived in Jerusalem? By no means. But I tell you, if you do not repent, you will all perish as they did." And he told them this parable. There once was a person who had a fig tree planted in his orchard, and when he came in search of fruit on it, but found none, he said to the gardener, "For 3 years now I have come in search of fruit on this fig tree, but have found none. So cut it down. Why should it exhaust the soil?" He said to him in reply, "Sir, leave it for this year also, and I shall cultivate it, the ground around it, and fertilize it. It may bear fruit in the future. If not, you can cut it down." The Gospel of the Lord. Well, we're just about halfway through this Lent, aren't we? And today's readings just capture the essence of our Lenten journey. And God offers us words of encouragement, and he offers us words of compassion, as we heard in our psalm, that the Lord is kind and merciful, pardons all of our iniquities. And the readings today also, especially in our gospel, Jesus gives us a warning that we need to repent and make the most of this gift of time that God has given each one of us. It's not really how you began your Lent, it's how you end. It's not how you live your life so far, it's how you will end your life. In our second reading from Paul reminds us that though he is full of kindness and compassion, as we heard, we also heard that he, from Paul, is a just God. And Paul reminds us that there will be consequences for our behavior. And he admonishes us that whoever thinks he is standing secure should take care not to fall. Pride comes before the fall. Our gospel today makes the point that life is a precious gift, and the time that we have on this earth is really a gift. And none of us knows that time when the Lord's going to call us home, but he's granted us allotted us time, and he will call us home. So he calls us to be intentional about the gift that he's given us, intentional to glorify God, and intentional to serve our neighbors. Jesus will use our Lenten sacrifices of prayer and fasting and almsgiving, and he will use it to fertilize the soil within our souls if we let him. And if we do, Jesus, the gardener, will make this Lent journey a very rich Lent, a one that in which when Easter Sunday gets here, it will be an even more glorious event. Hopefully, that will carry over into eternity, and we will bring fruit that will last. So what should we do for the remainder of our Lent? Well, I would say, and for the remainder of our lives, begin with the end in mind. Begin by looking at life with an eternal perspective. Let us examine how we're currently spending our time and what attachments are taking us away from God. What attachments in our lives need to be uprooted? Let's use this remainder of Lent to look at those opportunities. And are there opportunities in your life where you could give a little bit more time to God? Maybe we could frequent the Divine Mercy Chapel. Maybe it's an opportunity to frequent a little bit more, especially with the remainder of this Lent, the joyous sacrament of reconciliation, the healing sacrament of reconciliation. Maybe we need to examine how we're spending our time with our loved ones. May I suggest that maybe we look at the distractions of our cell phones, Facebook, the social media that might be taking us away from our time with our loved ones. I know I could do a better job with that. Maybe we could all do a little better job with leaving the emails and the concerns and thoughts of our work behind when we're in the presence of our loved ones, and give them the beautiful present of your presence. Let's think about how God, with the remainder of our Lenten days, can work transformative in our soul. Maybe we can receive that living flame of love, just much like Moses, who encountered the flame in the burning bush. We will all encounter the flame of God's love in the sacrament of the Eucharist. So let's make room for our gift of God that He so desperately wants to give us. And He really needs us. We are His hands and His feet, and we are His heart that reaches out to a very much a hurting world, a lost and dying world. That's the fruit that we're called to bear. That's the fruit that He wants all of us to do. The harvest is abundant, but the laborers are few. Will you be the laborer who can produce the fruit that will go into eternity? Because time is running out.